Perfect timing, Ash. Hello, everybody, and welcome to some Mario Kart 8. We're going to do an open tournament, so anybody is free to join for the entire duration of the stream. While we wait for people to get in here, I might have to switch over to regular online play for a minute, and that's absolutely okay. Let's just do that preemptively, so we're not sitting here waiting. I decided to play some Mario Kart because this week I was not sure what game I was gonna do in the meantime, but I think I've decided now, and I believe my next game is going to be Metroid Prime Hunters. At the very least, we're going to try it out and see. I don't know how it's gonna work because it's a DS game that I will be playing on my computer, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I think it should be able to, we should be able to finagle it in such a way where I'll be able to play it with a mouse and keyboard. I said mouse, very Canadian that time. But hopefully we can get to playing that next week sometime. I don't know exactly what my schedule will be, but we should be able to sneak it in there between Link's Awakening sessions. Let's see here. Unfortunately, I don't particularly love either of these tracks. I think I would take Donkey Kong over Sydney Sprint, but... Alright, there we go. Nice. Sydney Sprint is the newest one. I'm gonna leave that code up there if anyone wants to join the tournament while I do a couple of races here. Alright, I'm probably... Probably not going to do very well against random online people. There's a lot of people who play this game significantly more than I do. But that's okay, we will simply try our best. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm doing pretty good today. I actually have a bit of a story to tell that I'll tell a little bit later on stream. But in the meantime, whoa. I want to express that now that I've had time to let the Nintendo Direct kind of sit and for me to think about it more, it was a really good Direct for a lot of people. Maybe not necessarily as good for me, just because, that's gonna be real bad. But also I am in first right now, so maybe it won't be terrible. But there was a lot of, I think I mentioned it briefly in Link's Awakening, there was a lot of really obscure games that are getting sequels or remakes that were announced in this Direct. And I think that that's fantastic because I feel like recently we've been in kind of a, I don't want to say a rut because that implies something bad, but the franchises that have been around for a while have been the same franchises. I feel like it's been a little bit since something like really new sprung up. I mean, obviously there's a couple of things, like technically Elden Ring is a new IP, and like, you know, Splatoon wasn't that long ago, and like, you know, there are new IPs that have come out, but especially I feel in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of expected sequels and maybe unnecessary remakes of games that are either already really saturated or remakes of games that didn't come out, you know, that long ago. Somebody is stuck here just at the end of the track, and also I'm surprised that I'm still in first. I'm kind of shocked. Oh, their internet is terrible. That's why they're stuck at the end of the track. Or they were just messing around. Also very possible. But it's nice to see that a lot of what I would assume, or what I would call dead series are back now. Or if not dead, then definitely series where it's been quite a while since they've had a new game specifically. And I just think that that's really nice to see. I'm always of the mindset that the more options that anyone can choose from is always the best when it comes to media. And when there's a lot of games out there, typically, people will find something new that they like. Whoops, I hit myself with my own banana right at the end. It's okay, though. Wow, I really got first place. I guess, I mean, it is 7 o'clock on a weekday, so maybe this is when all of the kids are playing their daily Mario Kart. I'm just kind of surprised. Who's that blue shell gonna hit? I don't know if it's gonna be able to hit anybody. I think everyone's gonna cross the finish line before it gets a chance. Yep, there we go. Nice. Ta-da. Alright, should we go back to the tournament and see if anyone's entered? I'm not sure if anybody has, but it's always worth a shot. Whoops. I always hit the back button too much. I did see it was a Twitter thread about the Donkey Kong Country Returns remake and some interesting decisions. It basically seems like that game is significantly further away from completion than people may have thought. Either that or it's like a complete from the ground up remake and not like a port or anything. Because there's a lot of like graphical issues with the game. Places where like the lighting and the shading just straight up doesn't work, or some places where like particle effects are completely broken or like just missing entirely. And I kind of figured that it was going to be a from the ground up remake, since it looks like it's running in the Tropical Freeze engine. But some people were being like really harsh on it. Not the person who made the thread. The person who made the thread made it so that way they could see if all those problems get fixed when the game eventually releases. But some people in the replies to it were like, "Oh, Nintendo at it again with their horrible graphics on their outdated console." And it's like, there's like 7 months to go before that game comes out. I'm sure that the majority of those problems will be fixed by then. But it's interesting to see that they showed it off. What seemed Peter Griffin and Pura from Tears of the Kingdom. We got a celebrity cast here. But it's just kind of surprising that they would show off a fairly, I want to say, small game so early on in development, if it is that far away from being finished. I mean, Donkey Kong's not typically small, but you know, it's just a remake of a game that's already been remade. So it's definitely not their most ambitious project, and it's also a game that I still gotta play. Maybe that'll be a stream game sometime in the future. I did play the first 2 on stream, I think, or maybe I just played the first 1 and played the other 2 on my own time. But I have played the first 3 of them. I haven't played Donkey Kong 64, but I've already talked about how I can't play N64 games anymore. I mean, I can physically. I can't get into them, and I tend to drop them really quickly. Lakitu? Oh, someone's internet must be real stinky. There we go. But I get that it is coming out in 7 months, so maybe half a year isn't that soon compared to release. I mean, this is coming from a modern game studio where some games are announced like 3 or 4 years before they come out, or in terms of the other big news, Prime 4, 7 years after they were announced, and many more years after it was stated that there was going to be a Prime 4. I guess in retrospect, maybe 7 months isn't too bad, but Nintendo also does graphics last, so the thing that's going to change by the end of the game is going to be the graphics. It's kind of a weird thing. Typically in game development, graphics will be a little bit better in late trailers before release. It's like it's kind of like a parabola. The earlier on in development, the worse the graphics are going to be. And then towards the middle, nearing the end of development, graphics are going to be as good as they will ever be. And then they'll be a little bit worse again once the game comes out, because that's when they have to like really make it run as good as they can on hardware and make as many sacrifices as they can without, you know, losing integrity. But I feel like for Nintendo, it's not really the case. The graphics just consistently look better and better right up until release, and then they look their best. Which is nice. I like it that way. It means that no matter what you see, you know it's always going to be better when you actually have the games in your hands. And I'm not including Pokemon for obvious reasons, because Pokemon is not a Nintendo product. It's just licensed by Nintendo. But I don't know if I'll get that one on the Switch. I know I said it on the last stream, but it's really hard for me to justify buying remakes of games that I have never played before when I have or have easy access to those games. Like, I have Donkey Kong Country, totally, definitely on an actual game disc that I plug into my Wii. Definitely, that's how I own the game. But I own it, and I can just play it. I don't need to buy a port of it. Or even with like Tropical Freeze, like I can just go to like a GameStop and buy Tropical Freeze for like $30, or I can buy a slightly enhanced mode with Funky Kong for $90 with tax. So it's kind of an easy choice for me between the two. But I think I'll probably end up passing on Donkey Kong Country and just end up playing the original whenever I get a chance. I thought for a while that the 3DS version was the like definitive way of playing the game, and that's kind of true because you have a couple of new levels that aren't in the original. But there's some new gimmicks in the 3DS version, if I'm not mistaken. There's like some microphone stuff and some mild touchscreen things that kind of just get in the way of the very concise and consistent Wii experience. So I'm not sure. I don't think I would end up playing the 3DS version if I ever decide to play it. I guess it is one benefit of remakes, is that if it has multiple versions, the game is going to have everything when it gets remade. Usually. I mean, sometimes it doesn't. I can't think of what it was, but I remember that there was a game that got remade. It was definitely a couple of years ago. I don't remember if it was remade for the Wii U or not, or if it was remade for the Switch, but it was a remake of a game, and it didn't include the handheld content that game came with, and I really wish that I remembered what it was, because the story really isn't worth telling if I don't remember the game. But my point is that sometimes it happens where a re-release of a game or a remake of a game won't have all of the content. Oh, it was Persona 4. Or sorry, Persona 3, obviously. Duh. That didn't have the some of the portable content that P3P had. So a couple it was a lot. I was gonna say a couple of people. It was a lot of people were a bit upset that the P3P content wasn't in the remake. So it does still happen where remakes don't have all of the content. Okay. I'm not sure why it wasn't hit, but I will take it. I forgot that Mario Kart is wacky, and it determines whether or not you're hit if the person who's holding the item hit you, not if on your screen it hit you. So I guess I must have been slightly beside them on that person's screen. Mario Kart's online functionality is held together with duct tape and a couple of rubber bands. Like, this is not... the people that you see on my screen, that is not actually the live drivers. What Mario Kart does is, throughout the course of a race, it will have a CPU driving, and then every time a player takes an action, it will send that information to your version of the game, and the CPU will then perform that action that the player took. So there are some instances where if there's ever like a connection issue, the CPU will start to make its own decisions, and then because it didn't happen on the person who that CPU belongs to screen, their actions will be undone. So like, if it switches over to a CPU and then the CPU decides to throw that item, but the person who actually is that person never threw the item, it will like undo it and you won't be hit by it. And it does a lot of stuff like that. It's an interesting way of doing it, but I guess it does reduce like lag and stuff, because instead of needing everyone to be connected at all times and the game closing if someone disconnects, instead if there's ever any connection issues, it just switches them over to a computer player instead. So it works, but sometimes it leads to some wacky stuff with items and even placements sometimes. That's not good. I think I just lost first place because of that. No, Lume! Why? Oh, man. Come on, at least take second. Alright, there we go. Whew. Ta-da. I'm not sure if that's 100% how the Mario Kart online functionality works, but that's the rundown that I've gotten a couple of times from, you know, the video game fact YouTube channels that are around. And some Mario TikTokers, or I guess YouTube shorters. Which, that also reminds me, I've been posting some YouTube shorts recently. Mostly just of Twitch clips. Nothing too crazy. I'm not like specifically making content for shorts, though I have thought about that. But I forgot that outside of the like little community that we have, VTubers are still kind of unwelcome in the vast majority of the internet slash of YouTube. Obviously, there are pockets where there's some overlap, like a lot of big streamers or big YouTubers are friends with some of the really big VTubers. But for the most part, if you just, you know, if someone stumbles upon your content without searching it out, they're typically fairly unwelcoming. And that's something that I saw on TikTok a lot, not from my content at all, but some of my mutuals at the time also posted to TikTok, and you would see it where people would just be incredibly mean to them for really no reason. And I think that's just down to the fact that VTubers are still fairly niche, and I feel like we kind of forget that. While I don't 100% necessarily consider myself a VTuber because I really don't follow the general content style, the idea of a VTuber and the content that they produce is really niche, and not a lot of people understand it, or even worse, downright despise it. And it's just kind of weird whenever my content kind of leaves the little bubble that I have and people outside start seeing it, because either the reaction is, hey look, another VTuber that I can watch, or it's like cringe L VTuber disliked on your video, and it's like, alright, that's cool. Which is fine, you know, whatever. Everyone's entitled to like or dislike whatever they want, and the way the YouTube algorithm works, if they like it or dislike it, it doesn't matter. It helps me. But it's just always weird to see such, like, I don't know. I want to say vehement aggression or negativity towards another person purely for the way that they choose to present themselves on their stream. And I get reactions to, let's say, certain kinds of VTubers, maybe the ones that are a bit more adult-focused, or maybe those who either intentionally or unintentionally foster parasocial relationships with their audiences. I get the disdain and dislike towards maybe some of those content creators, but in terms of just, like, seeing the existence of a VTuber and knowing nothing about them, it's just weird to see so much negativity, you know? And sometimes it takes me aback. But the point of this is that the first YouTube short that I posted, it was nothing really special. It was basically just like a reformatted Twitch clip. But as soon as it broke like 200 views is when the dislikes started to roll in. And I have never gotten a dislike on any of my videos. At least none intentionally. I know someone said that they did unintentionally dislike one of my videos and then forgot which one it was, and because there's no way to check your dislikes, they just kind of forgot about it, which is fine. I really did not care. They didn't have to explain it to me. They're allowed to dislike it, but that was like the first time I had gotten any like legitimate dislikes on a video, and it didn't like hurt me or offend me or anything, but it's just kind of weird to see because it's kind of like a nothing clip. Like, there's nothing really to it. It's just like a relatively funny clip where I die in a video game, and I don't even like say or do anything cringy in the clip either. So it was just interesting to see, and that's when it reminded me of all the stuff that I used to see on TikTok. And I think a lot of that has changed, at least a little bit. There's a lot more people who are sort of either interested or willing to accept different, you know, content styles these days. But you know, it's still there. And again, I definitely understand it with certain kinds of VTubers. But I am barely a VTuber. I'm just kind of a guy who has a model and uses it when he streams. Yeah, I don't really adhere to any of the trends or, let's say, stereotypes that VTubers fall into. There we go. Second place. Behind Italian Peter Griffin. Oh, well, this can't stand. All right, let's do Excite Bike Arena. If we get it, hopefully we do. And then we'll switch back and see if anyone has joined the tournament. I think it's a pretty slow day. I know it's still exam season for some people, so it's been a little bit harder to find people to play online games with, but that's okay. I absolutely understand people's need to study hard. I lucked out in not having any exams. Actually, I had like 2, but they were both for electives that I took, so I didn't even really have to study or try on them. I just kind of did them and then, you know, got a passing grade. But I know for a lot of people, especially people in STEM, exams are like almost the entirety of their grade, which is scary to think about because an exam is really a make or break moment. Like, all it takes is one bad day, and then suddenly your exam is thrown out the window because it was me, I'm so special, and then suddenly your whole grade is thrown out the window just because you had one bad day and I don't know, maybe got a little bit worse in an exam than you maybe could have. Which I could go on a whole tirade about the way that the school system is run and how it's still like designed specifically to create factory workers during the Industrial Revolution. But perhaps that's a conversation for someone who's a little more qualified than I am. Someone who's read a little more books than me. I just have passing knowledge on it. We do want a quick rundown, though. Basically, when the Industrial Revolution was first in its full swing, there was a problem where there was a lot of factory and a lot of work that needed to be done, and a lot of products that needed to be made. But there wasn't a whole lot of people who were qualified and or that wanted to do that kind of work. Because you gotta remember, prior to the Industrial Revolution, everyone pretty much had their own ways of making money. You were either a farmer, or you were like a tradesperson who had all of their own resources to do their job, and maybe didn't even really need to be employed by a company necessarily. So, there wasn't a lot of people who could do that kind of regimental company factory work. So, that came about with the sort of standardization of Western education, mostly in America, but it definitely affected other countries as well, including Canada, where they started to standardize the curriculum in order to teach people how to better, memorize and repeat and basically. The whole way that the school system worked was so that way you would learn a whole bunch of memorizable information really quickly, and then you would immediately be able to enter into the workforce with just the skills that you learned during that standardized school. So that's why like a lot of skills that are taught at school, which not a whole lot of pre-secondary schools do even teach a lot of skills. A lot of it is like basic math, or like workshop classes, or stuff like that, where it's going to help you in, working in factories. And then the knowledge that you learn is either just like sped through and they just want you to like, okay, memorize it and then you're good and then you know it, or it's like there's not a whole lot of attention put into teaching you how to gain new information. It's just teaching you said new information, and then, you write a standardized test to make sure that you know it, which is basically the equivalent of like a work test to make sure that you would like adhere to safety standards and things along those lines. I just threw away my second placement. That's unfortunate. I just should have held on to the shell instead of throwing it at the person with the horn. But, is that person using motion controls, or are they like a tournament winner? What does that golden steering wheel mean? Interesting. But in summation, that's pretty much why the school system is the way that it is in the West. Memorization, reaching checkpoints, taking tests to make sure that you've memorized skills. It's just to get you through it as fast as possible, and then teach you the necessary skills needed to work at like a factory or a trades job. I said I was going to go check on the tournament. But it's really unfortunate that the school system has just continued to work that way for, 100, 200, 300 years since the Industrial Revolution. I don't actually remember when the Industrial Revolution happened, but schools are still pretty much taught the exact same way, where it's all about, you know, getting you to memorize as much information as possible, standardized information, taking tests, which is the same equivalent as of reaching checkpoints, so that way they can be like, okay, cool, you know that information, now we never have to worry about it again, you just have it. Even though that's not really how it works. You don't, you know, once you learn information, if you stop using it, chances are you're gonna forget it. But, you know, in school, a lot of the times they don't really care about that because, you know, they're just doing their job to teach you that thing once, and then once they've taught you that thing, they just move on to the next thing, and that's just kind of how it is. Again, quite unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is. But that's also why a lot of people who enter post-secondary education end up doing a lot better if they didn't do good in school, because it gives them a lot of freedom, or it teaches them actual like information and then lets them learn how to do that information however they want. Because that's another part of it, in that, like, you know, in a factory or in a trade, there's one correct way of doing things, pretty much. There's usually only one, maybe two ways that you can achieve the thing that you want to do to a high quality. But that's not really true of the real life. There's a whole bunch of different ways to accomplish the same thing. So, you know, in post-secondary school, people are pretty much given the freedom to just accomplish things however they want to. Post-secondary school is a lot more result-based than process-based, which for some people doesn't work out well. Like, a lot of people who might be really gifted during, like, high school or whatever might end up starting to struggle in college because it's not as regimented and it's not as scheduled, and they don't tell you exactly how to do things. You're kind of left to your own devices, and you got to figure out how to do the thing that you want. But that is ultimately, at least in my opinion, a better way to learn things, because everyone learns things different ways, and forcing everyone to do everything the exact same way, you're going to have varying results on how well people are able to learn things. But if you let people learn things the way that they learn things best, chances are they're probably going to have a better and easier time with it. Please don't hit me with a star. Oh, I saw you trying. Please don't. Oh my god. Papa Brands and P. Quill. Oh, what a sneaky banana. That's what they called me in high school. Whoa. There we go. I've managed to temporarily retake first. Okay, and I've immediately lost it to someone with a faster bike. Aw, no. Come on. Oh, yeah. Let's go. I'm sure that's only temporary. I don't think I'm going to maintain this first place. There's a lot of good people this time around. Actually, I think there was a little bit of a crab bucket moment there, and second and third ended up hitting each other with something. I'll take it. I will capitalize on this opportunity. All right, now time for the story. My story is something that happened yesterday, I think. Yeah, yes, it was yesterday. Yesterday, my father informed me that there was a small raccoon that had been crying all night. For context, there is a raccoon den under our neighbor's deck where a family of raccoons recently was raised. But it's very possible that now that family is all grown up, the mother and all of the babies left, and they may have left the runt of the litter behind, because he was crying all night, as if he was, you know, crying for his mom. But there was no one there, and there has been no one there for a while. And when I woke up in the morning, I was the only one home, and the poor little guy had gotten his head stuck between two fence posts, and he couldn't move, and he was stuck there. And it seemed like he had been stuck there at least for the majority of the night, because when I went out there, his mouth was like really pale. Not like the rabies kind of pale, but like what happens when you're really dehydrated. And he was just absolutely screaming for someone or something to help him. And I wanted to just lift him out. It was on my neighbor's property, and I wanted to just, you know, like go around and pick him up and get his head out of the fence, but he was squeezed in there pretty tightly, and it seemed like he was having a hard time breathing. And it was a mixture of, you know, he's probably fairly dirty, and you know, I don't know if he's going to be aggressive when I let him out, and also I don't want to make it worse and accidentally like choke him or like twist his neck or anything. So I ended up calling animal rescue, and they got over here thankfully pretty quickly, as they were like right by my street, which was really lucky, because I don't know how much longer he would have lasted. His breathing was really starting to slow, like a lot. But he was being really calm while I was like kind of sitting there with him. He wasn't like aggressive, he wasn't like yapping at me or anything, he was just kind of chilling. Definitely very uncomfortable and probably losing oxygen. He had started to kind of wiggle around after I approached him, so I wonder if he might have gotten himself a little more stuck. But thankfully, the animal rescue lady just came out, asked me, you know, how big he was, where he was, and then she just put on some regular, like, blue doctor's gloves and just picked him right up, and then he kind of shook himself off and sauntered right back under the deck where his den is. And he was very adorable. And then I gave him a piece of pizza, because, you know, he was probably very dehydrated and hungry after being out between two fence posts all night. But, yeah, I think he's okay. I think he probably ended up leaving once he realized that the den was completely empty, but I haven't seen him. He did eat the piece of pizza, though. It was definitely gone, and I put it right at, like, the entrance of the den, so it was definitely him that ate it. But I'm glad that he was okay, because I was worried about him. One, I wouldn't want him to die because that would be sad, but also, I didn't want him to die because I didn't want there to be a dead raccoon between my neighbor and my fence, just kind of sitting there rotting. That would not be very fun for anybody, especially not the raccoon friend. So I'm glad that I'm glad he was able to be saved. I didn't even think of taking a picture because I you know, I was really concerned about his well-being and safety, so I didn't want to, you know, potentially end up being on my phone taking a picture if he needed really immediate assistance. But if he ever comes back and I'm able to snag a picture, I can show him. But he was bigger than a baby, but smaller than the raccoon you were probably thinking of in your head. Like whatever raccoon size you're thinking of in your head, maybe like he was like 2/3 of that size. But he was definitely fully grown, just small, which is why we think he may have been the runt of the litter. But at least now that him and his family are gone, they'll stop rummaging through our trash can. I do love raccoons. They're definitely one of my favorite animals. Oh, that was a third. Oh, I didn't realize that I was that close to the end. That could have been real bad. They're marsupials, which I feel like a lot of people forget. They're not rodents. Or no, they're not marsupials. They're like dogs, kind of. They're related to dogs and bears. I used to think that they were marsupials because they got a ringtail, but they're not. But they're very smart. They're about as smart as like a 4-year-old, and significantly more smart than a dog or a cat. Unfortunately, because they're that intelligent, they're a bit hard to take care of, and they need a lot of mental stimulation. Very easy to train though. Like you can train them tricks. You can make them know everything that they need to do. They just may not necessarily listen to you because they're kind of mischievous. Alright, is it going to be Moo Moo Meadows? Probably. I would be fine with Moo Moo Meadows. I don't know why I picked Snowland over Moo Moo. Moo Moo's pretty great. There's a lot of them. Oh, there's another Canadian here. Yes. I would not be opposed to having a raccoon in the future. I would probably have to make sure I don't have any other pets. Although, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, raccoons are so smart that I don't know if they'd be able to, like... I'm sure it'd be fine having another pet with them. I'm sure they'd be able to, like, get along and play and stuff. But raccoons need a lot of mental stimulation. And, you know, dogs are big and really excitable, but also a tad territorial. And cats are kind of aloof and, you know, sometimes they want to play and sometimes they don't. But I don't know. I don't know if that would work well with a raccoon. I'm sure there's like, you know, guides for raising a raccoon. I just don't know what they are. But if I ever have the opportunity, I would be down. I would be down to have a little raccoon friend as a pet. Whoops, that was supposed to go backwards. Well, I didn't hit anyone with it, so it's unfortunate. There we go. Hit someone. Well, it's gonna go forever, so we'll see. I missed the box and put myself in a very unfortunate position. That was no good. Hey, nice. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Don't do that, don't do it. Okay, good. I've been pretty lucky with my items here. I haven't really gotten a lot of coins. I guess because I've been getting item boxes when I'm not in first. That probably helps quite a lot. I know, still not a coin. I'll take it. It's all protection items, nice. Yep, I knew something was gonna come now. I'm waiting. I'm listening for a blue shell. Because if there was gonna be one, it would be one now. When right at the end. Okay, it's fine. I think I would have been far enough ahead to where it wouldn't have mattered anyway. So it's okay. We're probably not gonna go too long tonight for this stream. Probably about an hour and a half or so. Oh, I'm bonking my controller against my desk. I like Moonview Highway. I know that a lot of people don't, but I do. I also kind of like Wario's Gold Mine, and I also like Rainbow Road. I think it's just because I've reached the Mario skill level where those more difficult tracks appeal to me. I mean, Wario's Gold Mine is not very hard in this game. It was significantly more difficult in the Wii version, I feel, because there was no anti-gravity stuff, which kind of makes your controls a little bit tighter. Well, not tighter. It just makes your controls different, I feel. And I think that the zero gravity controls make Wario's Gold Mine easier, which is fine. But I like a little bit of challenge with my Mario Kart tracks, you know? I guess that's what 200cc is for. It makes everything a little more difficult, but I don't necessarily want to go faster. I just want tracks to be a little more in-depth, or like have obstacles and stuff, and require more precise driving over just going way faster. Honestly, 200cc doesn't always appeal to me. I like it every now and then, but I feel like 200cc is kind of playing a completely different game. It doesn't really feel like you're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It feels like you're playing a separate racing game that happens to have the same items, the same maps, and the same characters, you know? In terms of going through the tracks and racing, it kind of completely changes it. If there was like a 175cc, that would probably be like a nice balance of still being able to control the game like it's a normal Mario Kart game, but also having the speed of 200. Or, alternatively, if they just like, I don't know, 1.5 times the handling on every vehicle for 200, I think that would also be a little bit better. Because again, going faster is really fun, but then the like sliding around and constant braking and like straight up not being able to take some turns is not entirely appealing to me in 200cc. That's just me, though. I know a lot of people exclusively play this game on 200, which is fine. You know, kudos to them. I hope that they enjoy their 200cc gaming. Maybe it's because I'm not as good at this game as those people, which is probably true. If people play on 200cc all the time, chances are they're probably better at Mario Kart than someone who plays on 150cc all the time. That's kind of just how things go. But I don't know, I never had the desire to develop the skills to race in 200cc. I would just always have less fun with it. Oh, I'm glad I got the item box when I did, because I don't think the person in first ended up getting one. Unfortunately, this person has a super horn, which is going to mean that I'm not really going to be able to hit them with the shell, and also I gotta watch out for them. Let's have them waste it, if we can. Okay, that's good. It hit them on my screen, but not on theirs. Or I guess other way around. Come on. Oh no, the car! Oh man. I may have been able to pass them if my shell didn't hit that car. That's so unfortunate. Oh well. Alright, well, it doesn't seem like we're gonna have enough people for the tournament. I'll do one more race and then we'll go and see again. And if there's still no one there, then I'll just take the code off. And by the way, anyone watching like in the future, if you're watching this on a VOD, that tournament is still up. It refreshes every day at 11 p.m. Sorry, it ends every day at 11 p.m. But it refreshes every day. So chances are, if you're watching this, that tournament is still there. I'm not playing, probably, unless I happen to be streaming Mario Kart on the day that you're watching this VOD. But you can race if there's anyone else there, at least. Hey, that's the Yoshi art in Mario Party that goes. I would recognize it anywhere. I've spammed that stamp many a times. Or sticker? I don't remember what they are in Mario Party Superstars. Speaking of which, I completely forgot to mention last stream that there's a new Mario Party coming out, which looks cool because it's all new boards plus 2 returning ones and the largest collection of mini games so far. Which I don't know. There was a mini game collection called the Top 100, which had 100 mini games, unless they just mean the most mini games out of any mainline Mario Party game, which is very possible. But I don't know. I said it on Twitter. It always seems hard for me to justify buying a new Mario Party because I don't or barely play the one before. I only play Mario Party when I'm together with friends or if I'm collabing with someone on stream. So I've only played Mario Party Superstars maybe like a maximum of 10 times. At least on my copy of it. I probably played it more on other people's copies, but that's the thing, right? Is that if you want to play Mario Party with friends online, you all have to have Mario Party. But then, typically, whenever I play Mario Party with someone, I play Mario Party... Hello, how you doing, Shy Bay? Typically, whenever I play Mario Party, I'm playing with people in person. So, like, one of my friends will already have a copy of Mario Party, and then it's like, well, why do I have my copy? You know? You're okay? That's good to hear. So it's always a little bit hard for me to justify buying a new Mario Party, but we'll see. If I just simply make a more of an effort to collab with other people, then I can easily justify buying Mario Party. I just have to play it more than 10 times. But we'll see. I'm gonna wait a little bit more. We're kind of at the point now with Mario Party where we have a good one, so I don't know if... Why? That hit me on the side. What? We're at the point with Mario Party where we have a good one, so like I'm gonna have to wait and see if the new one is actually going to be better than Mario Party Superstars. Because if it's not, then I mean, what's the point? I already have Mario Party Superstars. If it does look to be better and have more content, then obviously that's a reason to get it. But I don't know. We'll just have to see. It's not like it was before, where Super Mario Party was so mid that anything else that came out was just pretty much immediately going to be better. I certainly hope that it's good. It's definitely too early to really say anything. We've gotten one trailer, and I don't think it comes out until, what, like next year? Uh-oh. 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 I squandered it. Right at the end, I squandered it. It's okay. The blue shell went for the person in second. Redeemed. We're back. Okay. I know that Nintendo, like, first-party Nintendo doesn't really own Mario Party DS. It's Camelot that owns that one. They do all the sports games. But I wish we got either, like, a remake or like, the mini-games from that one. I know a lot of them are touchscreen reliant or, like, microphone reliant, but they could do it. They could find ways around it. Did I just recently get this game? No. But I never play online. I only exclusively play in tournament lobbies or with people in person. I've had this game since it came out, and before that I had Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U and played it pretty regularly. Let's see, has anybody joined into the tournament? Wonk. Nope. Alright, cool. Back to regular online we go. And I won't hit B in extra time. Is the bottom code? It's a tournament code. If you'd like to join, you're more than welcome. I can back out of here and you can join. It's a bit of a slow day today, but I'm more than welcome to switch over there. You can join? Hell yeah, let's go. Boing. Typically, I stream Mario Kart on like Fridays or Saturdays, so sometimes there's a couple more people here. But it is a Thursday night. Let's see. Do I want to keep rocking with Waluigi and the jet bike? Let's go with Daisy. I don't know why, but Daisy's calling to me. I think it's because I saw a piece of art earlier that had the Echo Fighters from Smash. And, what was it? For the new Zelda game, the Echoes of Wisdom. Someone drew Zelda summoning the Echo Fighters, and I really liked the style that they used. That's probably why I'm thinking of Daisy. That also reminds me that I've been having a weird problem with Twitter recently. And that, whenever I scroll on Twitter for, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or more. I couldn't give you an exact number because it changes every time. But my, like, whole browser crashes, which wasn't happening, like, before last week, and I don't know why. I use Opera GX, and typically it's pretty good about doing things, but I don't know if, like, Twitter updated and it just doesn't support Opera as well anymore, or if, like, my computer needs an update or what, but, it, like, crashes my whole thing. Whatever video I'm watching immediately freezes. If I'm uploading something to my YouTube channel, it automatically, like, cancels the upload and crashes everything. It's very unfortunate. It means that if I ever want to go on Twitter, which is not very often that I actually want to, but if I ever do want to, I have to make sure that I'm not doing anything else important when I do. I've a long since uninstalled Twitter from my phone, so I'm no longer doom scrolling when I wake up in the morning. I see you took a Waluigi after me. I see. It's fine as long as there's a Waluigi. I'm satisfied. Nope, that's unfortunate. Computers are way too far behind to be hitting that switch. Oh. I don't know if I like this remix of the Zelda theme / Ballad of Goddess or the Hyrule Warriors one better. They're both really good, and they're both rock renditions of them, which makes it hard to choose. I think sometimes I go back and forth. I do really like this one, though. Oh yeah, at one point I was trying to 100% Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. I don't think I'll ever do it. There's so much content in that game that I think I could be playing it for like a decade and still not 100% it. Or if not 100%, at the very least like do all the adventure maps. It's a lot. It would be one thing if it was just a matter of how long it takes, but it's also such like a repetitive thing that, I don't know, it kind of, like my brain just kind of, it's kind of like I guess it's understimulation. It's understimulating for my brain, and then because my hands are just doing the same thing over and over, they start to hurt. Maybe I'm just getting old, but it is hard for me to play more than like an hour of that game, and an hour is not enough time to make any significant progress in any of the adventure modes in that game. They are all really long. I've gotten to the point where despite having bought that game 3 times, I've gotten enough playtime and content out of it that justifies having bought it 3 times. Because I bought it when it came out on the Wii U, and then I bought the DLC for it, and then I bought Legends on the 3DS because it came with new content, and then I didn't buy the DLC for that one, and then I bought the Switch version about a year after it came out. So I've played that game quite a lot of times. I don't know if I would ever be able to like play it again from the start. I think any time I play that game would just be like continuously getting the smallest bit of content under my belt, because there's adventure modes, there's all the, you have to replay story mode like 3 times in order to get all of the golden Skulltulas. There's so much in that game. It's honestly overwhelming since it's like, you know, 2 games worth of DLC. At least it's fun and it's got good music. I will say though, it was a lot less concerning on the Wii U, because you play that game on the Wii U and it runs absolutely fine and your Wii U is not 1,000 degrees Celsius. You play that game for about an hour and a half. Server maintenance? What? Huh? Okay. Well, it's a good thing I'm not going to be streaming this game for too long. We got about an hour before server maintenance goes up. Weird. Why would there be server maintenance on Mario Kart? Unless they're going to announce even more DLC. Nah, we're done with this game. There's no way. But interesting. I have immediately forgotten the sentence that I was in the middle of saying. I think that thought is forever gone. I'm trying, I'm digging deep into my thoughts. Nope. Alright, cool. That's the end of the Hyrule Warriors talk. Oh yeah, no, that's right. I was gonna say, if you play like an hour to an hour and a half of that game on Switch, your Switch is gonna be really hot. I think I might have gotten a temperature warning 1 time while playing that game in docked mode. Granted, I was in a hot room, but still concerning. I know that there's a couple of people who want another Hyrule Warriors, but for Tears of the Kingdom. But I am so done with the Breath of the Wild era of Hyrule. I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed my time with all of the games that came out. But I'm ready to move on to something else. There's only so much I can see the same destroyed and dilapidated Hyrule before it starts to get really boring. Like, it's 3 full-length games now that we've had this Hyrule for. And not only Hyrule, but the characters and the style of gameplay and the mechanics and all that stuff. It's a lot. And already with Tears of the Kingdom, I was feeling the burnout of this Hyrule, so I really would not want another... 1, I wouldn't want another Hyrule Warriors, period. And 2, I don't really want another game in that Hyrule. Bam. It seems like we're moving away from it though. You're rusty? Nah, no worries. You're doing more than good enough for being rusty. I'm glad that we're moving away from that Hyrule, though. I mean, with Echoes of Wisdom, and I would assume whatever next game that they're coming out, the like, I don't want to say the big one, because that kind of diminishes from Echoes of Wisdom, but the next big Zelda game, if we're being honest, I'm sure is also probably going to take place in a different time, on a different Hyrule. I'd love another Toon Link game. I don't necessarily need a Wind Waker port, but it would be nice to have something with Toon Link, I feel. It's been a while. It's been since Spirit Tracks, the DS. Granted, I have not played Spirit Tracks, so there is another Toon Link game for me to play. But Spirit Tracks is kind of its own thing. It's not really a traditional Zelda. It's a bit different. I am glad that we didn't see another Mario Kart with this Direct. I mean, the DLC just finished coming out. There's always going to be people disappointed about everything, but it's really funny to me that people were disappointed that there was no new Mario Kart announced when, again, the DLC just finished coming out this year. We can go a little bit longer without new Mario Kart content, you know? Well, let the game breathe a little bit. But there, I saw people were like really mad. They're like, I didn't want Mario and Luigi, I wanted Mario Kart. It's the best-selling system, or it's the best-selling game on their system, and they're just gonna let us rot with the same game for 8 years? Yes, because it's the best-selling game on the console. Of course they're gonna let it rot for another 7 years or whatever. I don't know. It's always funny to me, the things that people get upset about. I feel like the casual racism towards Japan is not cool, though. That's a very small minority, but there's a lot of people who equate... I don't know how much I want to go into this. There's a lot of people who have a very vehement distaste and hatred for anime and anime-related or anime-styled video games. And sometimes it's just that they don't like RPGs, and that's fine. But for some people, it goes more than that, and it seems like it's a distaste and blatant casual racism towards Japan that gives them the opinions that they do. And that's not cool. They always show their face up whenever there's a bunch of RPGs announced at a Nintendo Direct. He's rusty, he says. Proceeds to get first 2 races in a row. I don't know. There's a lot of people and places on the internet that have made hatred towards RPGs maybe a little bit too commonplace for some people, and then for the odd bad egg in the crowd, that just kind of evolves into a hatred of all things Japanese. You do have a 25k rating, so you've seen your fair share of races. Damn, nice. Maybe you can tell me what that golden steering wheel means besides someone's name. Does that mean that they're using tilt controls, or does that mean that they've, like, won a tournament, or what does that mean? Because I saw someone earlier when I was doing online races. Tilt controls? Okay. I figured that's what it was. I do want to do a tilt controls only Mario Kart stream and invite some of my friends. I know Zosie and I were talking about it when she and I played it last time. I don't know who all. I'm sure Soren and Mako would probably be down for a tilt controls only Mario Kart stream. I don't know, I never used tilt controls. And they worked pretty well on the Wii because of the IR sensors, but with gyro control, I don't know, I feel like it could lead to some interesting problems. It would also kind of be an equalizer for all of us, because I don't know how to play with tilt controls. I don't think Soren knows how to play with tilt controls, so he can finally stop maybe kicking my ass every time. I'll have to see if I can orchestrate some people. I'll have to wait until Zeus is back from Japan, though, which I think is in a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. I don't like that red shell. No, not the coin. Oh, I should have held onto the coin. If I'm holding a coin and I get an item box, I get an item guaranteed that isn't a coin. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. It is always scary good. Or scary how good Soren is at video games. Like, every time I tune into a stream, he's playing a game on the absolute hardest difficulty and making it look like an absolute piece of cake. The first time I've seen him struggle with anything is this Pokemon Platinum Nuzlocke that he's doing, and that's because it's mostly luck-based. That was a wacky little air drift that you did there. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, get me out of the way of the blue shell. No, thank you. Oh, did you just avoid the blue shell with a mushroom? Is that what I just saw? Oh my god. You really have seen your fair share of races. Not that I doubted, but goddamn. Yeah, there we go. Let's see how long this lead lasts. Probably not very. Come on, come on. Yeah, let's go. I finally managed to take one back. Ooh, tied up again. I wish that I could change the tournament settings without closing and remaking a new tournament, because I think we could probably have hard CPUs in here. But that's okay. They get in the way every now and then. That blue is just invincibility frames? Oh, I see. I thought you boosted away from it. I thought you were holding a mushroom all that time just to boost away from it. I choose to believe that you're just that good and cool that you managed to do it anyways. That's my headcanon. You haven't missed a dodge in a good while. I don't think I've ever been able to dodge a blue shell. Granted, I've never been in a position to do so, because I don't do the thing where you stay behind to get good items and then go to the front of the race. So I've never really had a mushroom when there's a blue shell coming towards me. I think the only opportunity I would have is like a baby park or something. But I would be interested to see if I would be able to get the timing done. I know you can't do it with like boost pads, it's only mushrooms, so I don't know. I'd have to like set that up in order to test it. I'd have to make a race that only has blue shells and mushrooms. Oh. Bro? Luigi? What are you doing here? You're a computer. Get back to the end of the race. I don't know what Daisy's stats are. I don't think it particularly matters, but I don't know. That's like the one of the only things when it comes to Mario Kart that I just have absolutely no idea about, and that's all the hidden stats. Because I know it's more than just characters. Some karts have like mini turbos are a hidden stat, and air control I think is a hidden stat. And I don't know a single thing about them. I fly in completely blind. I do know that oh really? That the, what is it, the Biddy Bug? That had really good mini turbos for a while. I don't know if it's still the best anymore after that balance patch, but I actually don't even know what the best card is. It was the cat card for a while, but I don't know if it's still that or not. It might have changed since then. Oh. You know what? I guess to be fair, it wasn't doing me any favors to be holding onto a super shell in second place. I need to be a little more offensive if I want to catch up. Uh-oh. Not the triple mushrooms. Now I'm really falling behind. He's unlocking his true power. All 25,000 of his points are returning to him one by one. Oh, and I'm getting drained of my skills. This stupid thing I have where the more I play something, the worse I get. Ugh. Oh well. I would say I'll take a consistent second, but that's just the equivalent of losing, because I'm not gonna lose to regular normal difficulty CPUs. Alright, I'll do a couple more tournament races, and then I'll go back to regular online for a little bit, and then I'm probably gonna end stream at around 8:30 or so, because, I mean, servers are gonna undergo maintenance anyways, and Mario Kart's one of those games where playing 2.5 hours of it is, I don't know, it's a little too much Mario Kart for me, but I'm glad you're having fun with the races. I too am enjoying my time racing against you, a formidable opponent. You should cuddle Aqua. Is Aqua a pet of yours? Or a partner? Or a body pillow? I don't judge. A Pokemon Meryl plush. I see. Bonk. There we go. I wanted a smidge of a lead to get those, that boost pad. Big Blue is one of those tracks where I always feel like I have to focus way more than other ones. I don't, because it's not a very difficult track, but it feels like I do. I think it's the music. I guess also because there's so many opportunities for little speed boosts. Oh, this bike is not great for this track. I'm just gonna have to cope. Oh, come on. No, I just got my coins back. Ah. Alright, well, I guess I got him back again anyways. Whoa. A Luigi? Golden Mushroom Luigi? Where did you come from? What? I guess he's had enough. He's had enough and he's decided he's out for revenge. No, not this time. Oh, there we go. I forgot how short Big Blue is. It's like the most intense 3 minutes of my life. I don't think we're ever gonna get a new F-Zero. I don't know what it is about that series, but I just don't think we're getting a new one. And to be fair, there's been like 3 F-Zero-like games that have come out that have reached like a fair amount of popularity, so it's arguable as to whether or not we even need a new F-Zero, though I do know that people like the music and the tracks and the characters, so I'm not opposed to it, but I don't think we're ever gonna get one. I think that series is like finished. I think they've just done everything they want to do with it. Now, getting a remake of it, I think that would be totally fine, but I don't know, when the best-selling game on your console is a racing game that, for the most part, fills in the same slot that F-Zero does, I don't know if they would do it. I don't know if they want to eat into the Mario Kart sales by releasing F-Zero. Or maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just they have Mario Kart, so they don't see a need for F-Zero. Which, again, fair. I get it. Which is why, you know, I think in terms of a new F-Zero game, we're probably done. I could see like a spin-off, something in the F-Zero franchise that isn't maybe necessarily a racing game, but I don't know. It would all be entirely dependent on if Nintendo is ready to put a risk on an IP that has, in recent years, been fairly unproven. I feel like all of the F-Zero fans that are out there were fans when the games were still going. I don't know if there's anyone who's a fan of F-Zero that became a fan after they stopped making games. So putting out a new one, I feel, would be a pretty big risk for them. They'd probably make their money back. In fact, I would guarantee that they would make their money back, but, you know, it's all about maximizing those profits. At least Nintendo does it in an ethical way, but it's still about maximizing profits. Oh boy, oh boy. I took that turn a little bit too wide. It's okay. Oh man, this really good song is absolutely ruined when it's put through the lightning filter. No, no, please, I'm so close, no! Oh, man. The finish line is, like, right in front of us, no! Oh, perhaps? There's still a chance? Uh-oh. Chance removed, chance revoked, no more chances. Oh, no! Oh, I couldn't even stop the red shell. What a way to end it. No! That's so sad. Oh, well. Alright, I think I'm going to switch over to regular online again, see if I can get a couple more races in there. Thank you so much for the games. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for sticking in here. Good game, there we go. I was trying to find it. And then we'll play, I don't know, maybe about 15 minutes or so of worldwide online races. And then we'll call it a stream, and then I'll be back tomorrow. Let's see, who do I want to be this time? I feel like I never play as Pauline. Mostly because her face looks a little bit weird in this game, but let's go for it. Do I want the GLA tires? I mean, it doesn't really matter. They're the same as the tires I normally use. We'll just stick with them. Oh, and I do have auto accelerate on regular online matches. Nice. I didn't think that I did. I guess I didn't check, to be fair. Cat Peach, of course. Oh, but they're only on lap 1 of 3. Oh, man. Alright, we'll spectate this match. Alright, who's in first? That's what I'm interested in. Okay, we got Ches in second. Angle second and third, and Shield in first. Oh, Shield well and truly in first, because they're using the meta vehicle. Oh my god, look at how fast they are. Are they short hopping? Bruh, I didn't know that Teddy Car plus rollers was that good. Oh, everyone's using it. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, both first and second are using it. All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's what I get for joining in online randoms. I can aim for third. If I get in third, then it's a victory. How many people are using the Teddy car? That's at least 3 people, but I don't think the third person is using the roller wheels. I think they're using... Oh, okay, and then we also got the moped with the roller wheels. Alright, well, I could certainly try my best. I thought this was going to take longer, but since the first 3 people are moving this quickly, I mean, I don't think this race is going to last much longer. And there's Cat Peach. CPU, not in last. I don't know if it's impressive for her or sad for the other people. Maybe a little bit of both, honestly. Alright, well, I'll take this opportunity to rehydrate myself. There we go. Come on, can I bring it back? Angle second. Can angle second get second? No, fourth, third, fourth. Oh, angle second. Or maybe angel second. Angel second, hitting it in with the what, 5th place? Quite unfortunate. That's everyone, right? You should be looking at the results screen now. Or are some of them still racing? I don't know, it's a little hard to tell. I think some of them might still be racing. Oh, XM Radio is still racing. Oh, never mind. They were cut short. Alright. Wow. I don't particularly love any of these tracks. I mean, they're fine. We'll just go with a random. I don't particularly mind which one it is. I think I would prefer maybe not... well, it looks like it's going to be that one. I was going to say I would prefer maybe not the Christmas one because I feel like I've played it a lot recently, but... I mean, I'll take it. I'll give it my best shot. As I hit one of the Fortnite dances I see. Alright, I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be Choco Mountain because there's only 2 people who picked it. Let's see if I'm true. I feel like with online... Oh! 3 people. I feel like with online races, it's typically whichever one is the last. It's gonna be the one that's picked. At least it feels that way. It's the one that no one wants. Hey, I'll take a Mario Circuit. I don't mind that one bit. I don't know if bike is gonna be the go for this one though. I think I might be hurting myself a little bit here by doing bike on this track. I guess I didn't really know that it was gonna be this one, but still. All right, we're shooting for 3rd place. That's probably about as good as I'm gonna get on this race. So we'll see. Lakitu, you're slacking over there. Anytime now, you can start the countdown. Whenever you're ready, Lakitu. Whenever you feel that you can do it. Whenever the last person's internet kicks in. There we go. I think that's the longest I've ever had to wait for that. Alright, let's see. Does auto accelerate actually work? The answer is yes. I don't have to hit the A button. Fantastic. Why am I in first? We got 2 people using the Metacar. Why am I in first? Unless that's not the Metacar anymore, which I guess is maybe true. I don't know. Again, I haven't really looked into it. Last I heard, it was the Catmobile, and then I think I saw recently that it was the Teddy with roller wheels, but I feel like it changes like every week at this point. Oh, okay. Well, someone stole a coin. I hope they enjoy it. They gotta be so disappointed. That's more of a loss for them than it is for me, to be honest with you. Nice speed boost right as I get it. Let's go. That was a bad one. I probably could have saw through it anyways. You know what? I think a bike was fine for this one. I think I'm thinking of like 200cc. For some reason, my mind immediately thinks of 200 whenever I get like a new track. And then I think of what the best course of action for 200 is, which is weird because I don't play 200cc that often. I only ever play it when I go to one of my friends' places, and that's it. But I know that a bike is not the way to go, and that, on this track on 200, that's what ruined it. One green shell over a pit is all it took, and now it's done forever, and it's unrecoverable. It's Jover, if you will. That's unfortunate. But I don't think I'm fast enough to catch up, so I do believe it is in fact now Jover. Man. Oh man. I was in first for that whole race. That's so sad. Ugh. Alright, I'm thinking we'll do 2 more. I think races are like 3 to 5 minutes each, so that should be good. I'll try to redeem it. I'll try to get first one more time. Thankfully, my number still goes up if I get within like the top 3 or I think probably 5 if I had to guess placements, because it's only 6 when your character starts to get sad about their placement. I wanted 3DS Rainbow Road. This is so unfortunate that I accidentally picked random. Teehee, abo the door face. Two puts fingers together. Teehee, hoo hoo. At least they're supportive. I wish I could still read hiragana. I used to be able to. I was pretty good at it when I was doing Duolingo, but it's gone now. It's all gone. There's a couple that I can read, but not a whole lot. One of these days, I'll go and take actual Japanese classes. I just need disposable income in order to do that, because I wouldn't want to do another online learning thing. I would want to go in and be in like a classroom environment. Thankfully, it's this one and not Super Bell. Wait, is it 100cc? Oh, it's only 100cc? Oh, man. Is it always going to be 100, or does it just pick the rule set that the person wants? Because that's a bit of a shame. I was hoping for 150cc. It's going to be a bit anticlimactic now, but oh well. Alright, Lakitu, please don't take 5 minutes again. He's going to, isn't he? Wow. Could you be any slower? Come on. I mean, seriously. So sad. There we go. Nice. Alright, it's Shield and I think Stitch Snug that we gotta look out for. And if Angel Second is still here, then them too. But I don't know, I don't see any name above King Boo. That might just be the real King Boo. Oh, there's Angel Second. They're not using the Teddy Kart or the moped anymore, so that might be okay. At least they're not a direct fear of mine. That being said, I am currently in the crab bucket. Yep. It's very easy for me to be pushed off the ledge when I'm that far back in the crab bucket. The cat bucket? The crab bucket. I think a cat bucket would just be nice and fluffy. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with it. If anyone is unaware of where that saying comes from, it's because when you're farming crabs, if you put one crab in a bucket, chances are it's probably gonna get out of the bucket. But if you put more and more crabs into the bucket, they'll start fighting and climbing over each other. Well, not fighting, but they'll start trying to climb over each other in order to get out of the bucket. And in doing so, none of them, or at least a very small amount of them, are actually able to get out of the bucket. So that's why it's like when you're in the middle of the pack in Mario Kart, you're surrounded by everyone, and everyone's trying to get to the front of the pack. And by doing so, there's a whole bunch of items that are just being used over and over. And then it's really hard for anyone to move up because everyone's getting hit by items the whole time. I'm not sure who needed the concept of a crab bucket explained to them, but I'm sure there was at least somebody. Also, I said farming for crabs. I meant fishing for crabs. You obviously could farm crabs, but that's not what the saying's about. I don't know what you would do when farming crabs. I think you would just kind of pick them up and then they'd be yours. I don't know. They'd probably already be in a tank. Well, I did say I was aiming for third, and it seems like that's what I'm gonna end up getting, so. And Angel Second gets second. I'll take it. No complaints about that. Exactly, Pauline. Not too shabby. Couldn't have said it better myself. Alright, well, it seems like with this group, Lakitu is going to be taking a whole bunch of time here. So I think I'm probably just going to call it a stream here. There's maintenance in about 20 minutes or so anyways. So that's all. Let's see here. I appreciate the games, though a few of you that there were. But I'll be back tomorrow for 1, a longer stream, and 2, more Link's Awakening. And also, you should now be able to hear some music, which was going on last stream, but I accidentally set up The one where I can hear it and you can't, instead of the one where you can hear it and I can also hear it. But regardless, it's in Fire Emblem Awakening. It's called ID Serenity, or id Serenity. Yeah, I'll be back with Link's Awakening tomorrow. And like I said, I think I'm going to start streaming some Metroid Prime Hunters. At least I'll start streaming it. If need be, it might be another Sandland situation where it's just not a very stream-friendly game, and that's totally fine. I know that with Metroid Prime 2, near the end of the game, I really was not having a super fun time actually streaming it. Playing it was fine. But the fact that, like, I didn't want to Google where to go because I was streaming, but I also constantly got lost and needed to Google where I had to go, it was a bit of a conflict of interests, if you will. But we'll see. We'll give Hunters a go, and if I'm vibing with it on stream, then we'll do a full playthrough of it. If not, we'll maybe do 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe even 5 streams of it, and until I decide that is enough. But in the meantime, I hope everyone is just doing good. I hope that anyone who couldn't make it is having a fun time doing whatever they're doing. Again, I know it's a busy time of the year for everyone. School's ending soon. It's exam season. So I hope that everyone's doing good in their exams, and I hope that whenever you're finished, you'll come on back and tell me about it. But for now, thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe, have fun, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.